Culinary Productions, bringing culinary ideas to life.
And we're here on the set of Culinary Creations, and we have, you know what? I'll let him introduce himself. Tell us who you are, sir.
What's good, everybody? This is Kilan Smith here on Culinary Creations. I'm your personal DrinkEtainer.
So, how long have you been mixing drinks, and how did you get into this business?
Well, I've been mixing drinks and in the nightlife for over 20 plus years. I've done things from opening bars, such as soft openings, hard openings, coming up with many different drinks that need to be on the menu for the nightlife and its scene.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about some early food memories that you have?
Oh, yeah. One of my fondest food memories is, it's a classic, and comes with a nice soup of tomatoes, and it's a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm very simple, so I love grilled cheese sandwiches. There's something about how simple it is to make it and how good you feel on a cold night.
And what would you drink with something like that?
Well, it depends on the mood that you're in, on what type of beverage that you would want with a grilled cheese. If I'm in a partying mood and I'm having a grilled cheese, I'd have anywhere from a Pilsner beer to a porter. If I'm into another, like a nighttime, let's get busy type mood, I'm going to have, let's just face it, a nice good, a shot of vodka with it. And then let's say it's a romantic dinner with grilled cheeses, a nice white wine.
All right. So, how do you know what pairings work with what? Because you gave us quite a few different pairings there. How do you know which one pairs with what?
Well, pairing kind of comes down to almost a science and knowledge and feel for yourself. And what I mean by that is, if you know how your palate works, then you're going to know what works with your food and what combinations need to be adjusted for your beverage intake and your food consumption.
All right. And what are some of your favorite drinks, whether it's beer, wine, hard liquor, or whatever the case may be? Like some of the favorite drinks that are always on your bar, and anytime you want to drink something, you're like, this is what I'm going to have.
That's a wonderful question. The things that I have in my array at my bar are some of my favorites, like Guinness and cider, which turns into a black velvet. What you do is you take the cider at the bottom of a pint glass, and then you float Guinness on top. What happens is you have sweet and bitter in a glass, and when those two meet together, that's a wonderful combination to relax with beer. As far as a cocktail goes, I'm kind of cartoonish a little bit, so I always run to a Scooby snack, which is very simple. It's all equal parts. It's milk, Midori, and Malibu. Shake it, strain it, put it in a little rock glass. It looks like a hue of green. Boy, that'll set you back after a few of those.
And you said that was a Scooby snack?
Oh, the Scooby snack. That is. I fell in love with that as a kid when I was 21.
Okay, I was about to say, really? Wow, okay.
And it was one of the first drinks I made at a bar.
Okay.
It was real simple, and enough people would buy that up, and you run out of milk, and you run out of Midori, but there's always plenty of Malibu.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your top 5 classic drinks? Like, when you think of classic drink, what is your idea of a classic drink?
My idea of a classic drink, let's see, the top 5. One is Long Island iced tea.
Okay.
You have apple martini, a Washington red apple. I'm going to keep it real classic. A shot of whiskey. And for my final one, that's a tough question. There's so many good ones out there. Rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke. Okay.
Rum and Coke.
Okay.
It's right in between rum and Coke and a vodka tonic with a lime twist.
Okay. So you picked some really classic drinks there. What is like some of the things that you would do to kind of put your own spin on those classic drinks. So if you go through that list one more time,
Okay.
think about, Long Island iced tea. There's not really a lot you could do, but I'm sure
Wait a minute.
there you go. See?
Are you kidding me? There's several variants that you could do with a Long Island iced tea.
All right, hit us.
Okay,
Let us know.
So we know there's two names for the same drink, and that's called an electric motorcycle or an adios motherfucker.
Wow.
How many people have ever heard of that? It's blue. So the finishing product, instead of the Coke for Long Island iced tea, it would be blue carousel. Or you can do a Tokyo tea, which is the finishing, which is Midori. But my personal favorite is the Darth Vader. The finishing product is Jaeger, which turns it black.
Wow. See, I didn't know that.
Well,
That's why you're the DrinkEtainer, because you know that type of
that's why
stuff.
I am.
Yeah.
For a lot of other things that are classics, of the ones that I've mentioned, like the vodka tonic or the Washington Red Apple, sometimes you may not need to change the texture of the drink, but you might want to change the appearance of the glass. Maybe salt the rim. Some people may go, well, salt things only for certain items like a martini or things like that. Well, if you add like lemon peel in it and add some color and contrast to it, it will change the consistency of the alcohol as it hits your lips.
So you were talking about changing the texture of a drink. What exactly does that mean, to change the texture of a drink?
What I mean by change the texture of a drink is how it feels in the mouth. Certain beverages will kind of put that pucker to the face, and it wouldn't roll right, but it's great to drink, but you want something to linger. You want to change the texture of the drink. Maybe use cinnamon or a different type of spice in let's say a martini, or instead of having, like I said earlier, citrus in the drink, change it to something less citrusy like a tonic or something more bitter.
Ah, okay. Thank you. So with that, you say something more bitter. That's perfect. What was the worst drink you've ever had, where you tasted it and it was just like, what did I get myself into?
Okay, in the world of bartending, there is this really horrible drink for a 21st-year-old, and it's called a cement mixer. The worst drink on the planet, but it is funny to give to someone.
What is it?
Oh, man.
Is it a whole lot? Is it like where you guys take the bar mats and dump it in a cup, or is that just for?
No, that one's fun. That's an okay drink. When you're broke, that's an okay drink. But a cement mixer, unfortunately, is Bailey's or a cream-based liqueur with lime juice.
Oh.
You have to pour it and time it just right. They're separated, and what happens is when you start mixing it, the cream starts coagulating in the lime juice, and it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and then you have to swallow.
Okay.
Oh.
That sounds horrible.
Oh, it's the best worst drink on the planet.
The best worst drink.
Oh yeah,
ever.
it's a bunch of bullshit. I promise you.
So tell us about some of the drinks that you've created on your own, and not only the ones that you've created, but also what was your inspiration behind creating them? Give us like 2 or 3 drinks that are your inspirations and your creations.
Well, a few drinks that I created within my career as a bartender is the apple cobbler, and that's Malibu with a sparkling cider. And I promise you, I swear to you, it literally tastes like an apple cobbler with the sugar and the apple and that crust. It's there, I promise you. And the other drink that I made would be a vitamin C. And that, my friend, is a orange liqueur with an energy drink, and you float 151 on top of it. Wakes you right. And for the reason why I came up with my own drinks, such as those 2 that I just explained, is over the course of the years that I've been in the night industry, working with bar books and listening to other people, the number one consensus is, make me something. Always make me something. I don't know how I feel tonight, make me something. So you gotta come off the fly, and you have to come up with something not only that looks good, that's going to taste good, and you have to have a good palate for that to make sure that your guests are happy with whatever they're asking for.
So when we talk about having a palate for alcohol, does that mean you have to like sit around and drink all day long every day? Or what are some of the ways that people at home can develop a better palate for knowing what they like, what they don't like?
Well, to form a good palate as far as the world of alcohol is Sometimes you have to try various things multiple times to see if you like it. Or if, like most people, you'll taste something, and if it's good, you'll remember it. And of course, on the opposite side of that, if it's bad, you're going to remember that as well. For me, my palate's very trained, so I could taste multiple things and remember them from the first time that I tasted them 20 years to now. So that's how come I'm able to provide wonderful drinks for guests, is that because my palate is extremely trained. Because I'll know, okay, this goes with this goes with this, let's try a little bit of this and see what we get.
All right. So tell us what you're going to be doing on Culinary Creations.
On Culinary Creations, I will be doing a segment called From the Bar with Key, where I will be pairing wine, alcohol, beer, and non-alcoholic beverages with food. At the same time, I will make it simple for you to understand alcohol.
All right. So now, your simplification of alcohol, will we also be able to find out where you get your things from? Like, will you give us resources to use and things of that nature?
Oh, absolutely. If it comes from a book or a really awesome site I came across, or maybe a cool product, I'm definitely going to inform you, the viewer, at all times.
All right. So is there anything else you want to leave with the audience, or should we, look forward to, why do we care? Let me try again.
No,
wait.
We're leaving it. No, at this point now, they gotta kind of understand who I am, and I'm gonna do this. I'm at the camera. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
Looking in your face.
All right.
I'm gonna mess with you a little bit. I'm a very humorous person. I'm telling you. See, I will always have something in my hand, so you know it's gonna be a good time on Culinary Creations. Also, not to mention, you never know what I might do to the staff, the crew, the set. I'm a bit of a Loki, if you will. There is no Thor, so I can't be stopped. Raise the roof one time, holla, if you will. So I'm definitely going to leave this interview with a little bit of laughs, a little bit of smiles, but I promise you it's going to be one hell of an experience. And, I'm going to be a little cocky here. And then when you watch the show, you're only watching it for me. You're just going to give everyone else the respect. And, so have a good one.
All righty. Thank you very much.